Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope that you are having a wonderful week so far. And if you're not, maybe today's project will be a little pick me up for you. I hope it is because we're putting together a really cute little bracelet that is relatively easy. There's a couple of steps to it, so it's time consuming in the steps part of it, but I think that you're going to see that it's a lot of fun and it's really pretty. It's the kind of bracelet that you can wear every single day if you want to, and you can stack it with other things, which I love. And it's sparkly, which I mean, I know I already said that part, but that's the best part if you ask me. It's the very best part is the sparkle. So we are putting together a bracelet that has a very small amount of bead weaving in it. Now, I know not everybody here is a bead weaver, and that's okay. That is totally fine. This is a really good introduction to bead weaving in a way that is not intimidating. There's not a ton of it, and there's not a lot of steps. So hopefully, as far as the bead weaving part is concerned, so hopefully this will be one that even if you're not comfortable with bead weaving and seed beads and things like that, you will give this one a try, because I think you'll see that this one is easy to do and the results are quite lovely. But before we get into that, I just want to do the little run through about all the things. Thanks for joining me. As always, hello to all of you. Hi, Mary. Hi, Danette. Debbie is here. Tu is here. Nicole and Sally. Like, I'm seeing everybody. Everybody's here. Miss Mary. Couple of my Marys are here. Miss Julie is here, and Jackie. All right, so we're going to get right into things. But before we do that, just reminders for you guys. If you are interested in joining Patreon, you can do that anytime you want to. Patreon is open for enrollment to anybody. It doesn't matter what kind of social media you use. You can join Patreon. It is $10 a month. And for $10 a month, you will get 3 additional projects from me. So on top of the projects that you're already getting from me, you'll get 3 more that are exclusive to Patreon members only. You won't see those on Facebook, and you won't see those on YouTube. You might see the pictures of them because it's a good way to advertise, but you're not going to see the actual projects themselves. They live within Patreon, and you have to be a paid subscriber to have access to those. It's a really fun thing to do. The Patreon is really cool because number one, the group is growing by leaps and bounds, which is incredible. But it's a fun place to be because I'm not trying to pressure you into buying anything. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm encouraging you to use the things that you already own. So I'm using beads and findings and components that I already have that are just kind of sitting here collecting dust, quite honestly. And I'm turning them into projects, and I'm encouraging you to do the same thing. So I am using simple techniques, simple stringing, simple wire, things like that. We don't do anything hard at all. In fact, it's not technique focused at all. It's just about making beautiful pieces of jewelry that we love, using the beads that we bought that we initially loved and didn't use for whatever reason. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in, I would love to have you come on over. All right. Also, set reminders for 1 p.m. Eastern for Friday's show. That's our Feel Good Friday that happens every Friday, where everything you see in the show is a kit. And that's going to be coming your way at the end of the week. So set your reminders for that. All right. Okay. So now it's time to get into the project. We're going to do a little bit of bead weaving with some fire line and a needle and some crystals and some seed beads. And then we're going to pull out our tying station and make it an adjustable bracelet. So a little bit of everything today, but I hope that you guys will enjoy it. And let's do it. I'm going to turn you guys around. All right. Oh, whoop. Yes. Back camera. Taking a second. All right. So let me show you our sample here. So we are putting together a cute little crystal bracelet using some 4mm bicones and some 11O seed beads. I'm going to be using some pink Wildfire in the 0.006 and a needle to do that. And then I'm using some knotting cord. This is just Chinese knotting cord in pink. I'm going to be using purple. Actually, we're going to be doing purple for this one. So I've already made it in pink, but we're going to make a purple version, and we're making it adjustable, as you can see. But it's not hard. I think you guys are going to like it. It's a really pretty cute little bracelet to put together that is fairly easy to do. So this is what we are doing. So I'm going to take some of my Wildfire here, and I'm going to take about a wingspan, which is about 3 to 4 feet. Just kind of depends on how long your wings are, I guess. Gonna trim that. Oops. Oh, my scissors are a little dull. Well, dang. Okay. I hate it when that happens. Those were not my good scissors. These are my really good scissors. I don't know why I didn't just grab those instead. All right, so I'm going to take my pliers here and I'm going to flatten the end of my thread. Now, by flattening my thread, it makes it really, really easy to thread my needle. Okay. All right. So there we go. Park my needle right there. And I'm going to grab some seed beads. I'm using some size 11 Tohos in permafinish galvanized aluminum, which basically is silver. It's a silver color. So that's what I'm using. I'm going to dump some of these out. You only need a few. And then I'm using some 4mm Preciosa crystals that I got from Michael's in this really pretty lilac purple. Okay. Okie dokes. So first thing we are going to do is we're going to turn on the fan because it's hot in here. Hold, please. All right. We are going to take our needle and we are going to pick up 5 seed beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 seed beads and we are going to drop those down and we're going to bring those to the end of our thread, and we're going to leave ourselves a tail that is about 5 or 6 inches long, and we're going to tie these beads into a circle. So basically I'm just tying a knot, and when I pull, it's going to turn those beads into a little circle. Okay, and then I'm going to double that knot, maybe even triple that knot. I'll tie it one more time. All right. Now I'm going to take my needle and thread, and I am going to take my needle and thread back through all of those beads again, just to kind of reinforce the circle that we have created. So I'm just going right back through all of the beads around again. Okay, and then when I get back to my knot, I'm actually going to go through 2 more beads because I don't want to start where my knot is. So I'm going through 2 more beads. Yes, this is a version, Sharon, of right angle weave that we are going to be doing. All right, so now what we are going to do, we are exiting our seed bead. Okay, right here, this seed bead right here. We're exiting this seed bead. We are going to pick up a crystal, a seed bead, a crystal, a seed bead, a crystal, a seed bead, and a crystal. Okay, so what we're picking up is 4 crystal bicones and 3 seed beads. Okay, and we are going to drop those down onto our thread, and where we are exiting this bead right here, we are going to enter that bead again in the same direction that our thread is exiting. Okay, so the thread is coming out of it this direction, so I'm going to put my needle in going in the same direction as that thread.
And then when I pull, it's going to create essentially a little circle out of our beads. See how when you pull, okay? Now, I am going to take my needle and thread. Where I need to be next is over here on this little seed bead. I need to be at this guy right here, because each one of these little circles of bicones is going to share a seed bead. So just like we started right here, I need to move over here. So in order to do that, I'm going to follow the natural path of the thread, and I'm going to go through this bead, through this bead, through this bead, and through this bead, so that I am exiting this seed bead right here. Okay. So I am going to do exactly what I just said. So I'm going through the crystal. I'm going through the seed bead. And the crystal. You can do this, Carol. You can. I have complete faith in you. I have complete faith in you. And then you're going to go through that seed bead right there. I promise you, you can do this. And if you can't, you send me messages and I will help you. I know you can do this. I know you can. Okay. So basically we just took our thread from where we were, where we finished, and we just went bloop, just like that, to come over here. So we just followed a natural path that already existed. We did not make any new paths. We just followed what we had. Okay. Now we are going to make another circle of our beads. Okay. So we already have the seed bead where we're starting, which is right here. So we are going to pick up bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone. So again, same thing. Whoops, that one still had the plastic running through it. Okay, so just like previously, it's 4 bicones with 3 seed beads. Okay. See where the thread is exiting. It is exiting, coming out the bottom of this seed bead right here. So I want to take my needle through that seed bead, going in the exact same direction as the thread. So I'm going to stick it into that seed bead. Notice how my needle is going in the same direction that the thread is exiting, and I'm going to pull. And when I do, it is making another little circle. So basically all we're doing is just creating little circles. That's quite literally all there is to this. We're just creating a circle. Okay. Now, just like previously, I need to get over to this seed bead right here. So to do that, I'm going to go through this crystal, this seed bead, this crystal, and the seed bead again. So I'm just weaving my thread back over here so that I can start another circle. Okay. So I'm going through the crystal, through the seed bead, through the crystal. No giving up. You're not allowed to give up, Carol. All right. And then through my seed bead. And listen, if you're not very good at seed beading, if it's just weird to have a needle and thread in your hands, it's just like anything else. It feels very awkward at first. Like you feel like you're all thumbs and you have no idea what you're doing, and it just doesn't make any sense. But it's like anything else, it takes practice. And I totally have faith in you. I totally have faith in you, because we're literally just making a circle. That's all we're doing. We're just making a circle. You can do it. I know you can. All right, we're out here again. We're going to make another circle. So we're going to pick up bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, and bicone. So we're always picking up the same beads. Okay. Let those drop down. Our thread is exiting in this direction. Okay, so it's coming up through that seed bead. So we want to take our needle up through that same seed bead, going in the same direction as our thread. And when we pull, we make a circle. right? So we made another circle. Okay. Now we need to get over here to this seed bead. So just like before, we're just following the natural path. The thread is exiting this direction, so that's the direction we're going to go. We're going to go through the first bicone. Okay. We're going to go through the seed bead and the bicone. I'm going to do those both at the same time. You don't have to. You can do one bead at a time. And then we're going to go through the seed bead. Okay. Now I want to look at the pink one that I made just to see how many of these little circles I made. So we need to do 1, 2, 3 more. So you can see it doesn't take a lot. We're not doing a ton of these. We're just doing a few. Okay. Trying not to overwhelm you if you've never done anything like this before. Okay. We're exiting our seed bead. We're going to pick up bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead. Whoops. Bicone, seed bead, bicone. Always 4 bicones, 3 seed beads. Drop those down onto your cord. The thread is exiting, coming down, right? So we want our needle to go in the same direction. We're just chasing that thread with our needle. And when we pull, we're creating a circle. It doesn't matter which side you come back out of. What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. Let me see if I can make a little picture. You guys love it when I draw things. It always gets a little wild, but okay. So basically we started with a circle. Okay. And we had a bead that we were exiting out of this direction, right? When we made our circle. So we came around this way to make a circle where we started. That is right here with our seed beads. Okay. So we were going upwards coming out of this seed bead right here. So then our circle went this direction back through that seed bead, that same seed bead, right? So we're still going clockwise. We added a seed bead that's over here. There are beads here as well, and beads here and beads here. But the ones that matter are the seed beads that are coming across in a row, right? Where we're sharing. So there's a shared seed bead, shared seed bead, shared seed bead, right? Every time you come up to one of these, you're going to be going in a different direction. So we come up through that one, and then now we're going in this direction. So when we exit, we're coming out this direction. Okay. So now we're going to go counterclockwise. So we'll go around this way, back down through that seed bead again. And then when we come back through, when we go back through these beads to get back over here to this one, we'll be going this direction again. So you're coming out this way. So every time you make it to one of the shared seed beads, you're going to be switching directions. So you can see we came up with this one, but then we went down with this one, and then we go up with this one, and then we'll come around and we'll go down with the next one. So you're making circles, but you're essentially creating a figure 8, basically. So you go around the circle, and then around the circle, and then around the circle, and then around the circle. And it does matter, but it only matters because you're following the natural path of the cord anyway. So I hope that helps. Okay. So we're going to keep going. So you can see we're coming out the bottom of this seed bead. So we're going to come over here to this seed bead, which will make us be coming out the top of that seed bead. So we circle back around. We do half of the circle. Okay. And then up through the seed bead. So now we are in position to do a circle that's going clockwise this time. So bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone. Okay, dropping those down. Taking our needle, and we're just chasing the thread. So we're going in the same direction that the thread is already going. Okay, so take your needle up through, because we're going in the same direction. That's what's going to make a circle, right? If we were to take this cord and we were to go through this direction, then we wouldn't have a circle. In fact, we would have actually undone what we've already done. So we have to go up, follow the thread, and when we pull, that's what essentially, see how that's what creates the full circle. Okay. All right, so now we got to stitch over to this bead right here. So we're going to go, whoops, through the beads that are already in our circle. To get over here to that seed bead, and we also want to go through that seed bead, because that seed bead is a shared seed bead with this circle and the next circle. Okay, so one more time, we're going to pick up bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone. Okay, and then we are chasing that thread to make the circle. So we're going to insert our needle into the bead in the same direction that the thread is exiting and pull. That makes our circle. So now we're going to stitch around to this seed bead. And I'm going to double check, see if I need one more or if this is the final. Okay, so we have, all right, so now we're at the end. We're only going to add 2 more bicones so that we can finish this off. So let me show you. All right, so we have our little circles. Oh no, I'm sorry, we are done. We're just going to do seed beads now. So we've done all the circles that we needed. We're just going to finish off with 5 seed beads, but we already have 1, so we're only going to add 4. So no more bicones. I'm going to take my needle. I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads, because our little loop of seed beads is a loop of 5, right? But we already have a seed bead in our circle, so we just need the 4 extras. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our needle into the bead, going in the same direction that the thread is exiting, because we're just making another circle. This time we're just doing it without the bicones. And we've made a little seed bead circle. Okay, and now I'm going to go back through and reinforce this circle a couple of times. So I'm just following the natural path, going back through my beads, and I'm going to go through. So I went through them once. I'm going to go through them again. I know it's not a perfect little circle at the moment, but it's fine. So I'm going to go back through those one more time. Now, at this point, you can reinforce if you want to. And by reinforcing, and I don't want to confuse anybody who's new at this, but to reinforce, basically what you do is you go back through the piece with your needle and thread, just following the natural path, just to get back to the other side. And that helps just to build the strength of your piece. And I can do that pretty quickly. So just following the natural path. I'm not making any new pathways, right? I'm just going back through my beads, and I'm just going to stitch my way back over to the other side where we started. I'm not adding anything. Okay. So I'm going to go back through. Basically, each circle you're only doing half of with your cord, or your thread rather. Just following the natural path with our needle to get back over to the other side. Okay. So when you think about reinforcing, always just think about, I'm just beefing it up with some extra cord, but I'm not making any new pathways. I'm just following the same path that got me to where I was going, and I'm just adding extra support. You don't have to add any beads. The main thing, though, is just don't make any new pathways. That's the biggest. You don't want to just jump across some beads with your thread so that you have threads showing or anything like that. You're just going from one side to the other very quickly, reinforcing, coming back over here to where we started. Okay. All right, so I'm back over here in the very, very beginning, back over here to my seed bead loop where I started. And I'm actually going to tie a half hitch knot. So I'm going to show you what that means. So my cord is exiting. Okay, so my cord with my needle obviously is exiting this bead, but there is already cord that exists there. You can just see it right behind my needle. I'm taking my needle behind that cord, okay, and I'm going to pull. And as I pull the length out of that, it's going to create a little loop with my cord. And then I'm going to stick my needle through that loop and pull. And basically, I'm just creating a knot on top of my cord, right? I just knotted my cord to itself. And then I'm going to go through the seed bead directly next to my knot, and I'm going to pull. And when I pull, I'm ready to get rid of this cord. Okay. So I'm going to use my thread burner. You can use your scissors if you want to, but I'm going to use my thread burner, and I'm going to burn that cord right off. Maybe. Ugh. I'm having a hard time holding it up here for the camera. So let me just put it down. The button on this thread burner is you got to push it hard, and I just wasn't pushing it hard enough because I didn't have enough leverage there. Okay, so now the only thing that's left here is my tail. I'm going to put my needle on the tail and just thread it through a couple of beads, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to burn it off. I'm not super worried about this one. I just don't want to cut it or burn it off right where my knot is, where we started. It's never a good idea to cut your thread where your knot is. Okay, so flatten my cord. And thread my needle if I can. There we go. All right, and just very quickly take my needle through a bead or two. That's good enough. Okay, and then I'm going to burn this cord off too. Just don't cut it where your thread is. I know that seems like an extra step that's a pain in the butt because you got to rethread your needle, but you're much safer cutting or burning your cord off somewhere that isn't your knot, because you might accidentally cut your knot and then your piece will come apart. All right, so that's what we've got, right? We've got our little focal ready to go. So now we're going to move on to things that I know that you guys know how to do, and that is macrame. So super easy. Okay. We're going to do a little macrame section with square knots to create the length of our bracelet. And then if we have time, we'll do the adjustable part, but I'm not super worried about that because you've seen us do that a lot. But we're going to do as much of this as we can within the next 30 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to take, oh, I have a mess here. I'm going to take some of my purple, and I need to cut 2 pieces that are probably about 10 inches long each. They don't have to be super, super long. You're going to actually fold these in half. So 1 for each side, about 10 inches, 12 inches, whatever. If you need a little bit bigger bracelet, probably go ahead and cut 12 inches. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take our thread, this cord that we just cut, and we're going to actually put it through the center of our little seed bead circle. So I opened that up a little bit by using my beading awl. See now how I have a nice open circle? I'm going to take my cord through that and fold it in half. And it's going to sit between those 2 seed beads. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but we'll wait to do that until we're ready for that step. So we're just going to work with one side at a time. All right, I'm going to lift you up just a little bit. Wants to know about using wire guardians. If you want to, instead of using 5 seed beads to make a loop out of beads, you 100% could just put a wire guardian here instead. And that would look something like this. And you would just thread your thread around and around your wire guardian instead of your beads. If you're curious, this is the project that I'm going to be doing Friday on Art Beads. So if you like bead weaving, you like simple bead weaving, I've got another simple project for you guys on Friday on Art Beads. Okay, so I'm going to use the foam part of my tying station. So I'm going to take the acrylic plate off, and I'm going to use the squishy one that we very rarely use, but I have to use the squishy one because I'm putting my crystals down on top of the acrylic, and I don't want to crack those. So I'm going to put the squishy over the top, and that's going to hold it in place, but it's also going to protect my beads. So don't ever forget you have that squishy part. That's exactly what it's for. Okay. And then I'm taking my 2 ends of my cord together, and I'm going to secure those underneath the other side. Right in there. Yeah, it's just Chinese knotting cord. I actually got this on Amazon. It was a bundle of a bunch of different colors. It's about 1 millimeter thick, but honestly, you can use whatever you want to. Anything you want. You can use hemp, you can use cotton cord, you could use anything. All right, now I'm going to take another piece of that. I'm going to take a nice long piece of this, probably, I don't know, 2 feet, just to be on the safe side. And I'm going to do a row of square knots. So I'm going to take my cord underneath and find the middle of the cord. And we're going to do some square knots. And you guys have seen me do these a lot. All right. So I'm going to do my P shape on the right. It's coming across the top of the core. The left cord crosses over that and then goes behind the core and up through our P shape, and we pull, and then I'm going to slide that up next to my seed beads. Okay, and then I'm going to do the second step, which is backwards P shape, right cord crosses over that, goes behind and up through our backwards P shape. And we are going to do a total of about 10 of these. If you need a bigger bracelet, do, you know, more, but remember, we're also doing an adjustable clasp on this. So you can get your length in there. All right. So P shape on the right, left cord crosses over, goes behind and up through and pull. and then backwards P shape on the left, right cord crosses over, behind and up through, and pull. There's 2. And now I'm going to speed up because we've got 2 sides of this to do. So if you need me to go slow and really show you the square knots in slow-mo, just shout it out in the comments, because I don't mind to do that. I know we've done a lot of square knotting projects, so sometimes I assume that you know how to do these, but you might not. So just let me know. Okay. So we're making up our length here. And actually, I'm going to go back to the pink bracelet here in a second, and I'm going to count the knots so that we... No, I'm not. We're just going to do what we're doing. Well, it's a squishy foam piece. It is an important piece. Don't lose the squishy foam piece. You may not use it every time, but... Oh, bye, Carol. Listen, Carol, if you try this project out, I want to know about it. I want to know. I've got your number. I'm watching you. Have a good rest of your day, though. And if you make one, let me know. If you need help, let me know. Great question. If you walked away, how would you know where to stop and start on your square knot, or where to start on your square knot? I love it. All right, so that's a great question. Okay, so for the square knot that I do, I always start on the right? So that means that counting my full knots happens on the right. So I count the bumps, right? Each bump represents a full knot, but only on the right side, because that's the side that I started on. Okay, so don't count your bumps on the left. Those don't count. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 complete bumps, right? So I know that if I get up and walk away and I come back and I see that there is a full bump here, then I know that I finished the last knot completely and I'm ready to pick up and make the next knot. So that would mean that I would start on the right with my P shape, cross over with my cord on the left, and then go up through my P shape. Now let's say I get up and I walk away at this point, right? So I take a look and I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full bumps, but I don't have a bump right here where my cord is coming out, right? So that means I didn't finish the knot. I only did the first half. See how the cord is coming out and it's not a bump? So that means I only did the right part of that. So I have to do the backwards P shape to finish, and I get the bump. Hopefully that helps. Because I know that sometimes you do have to, get up in the middle and you come back and you're like, wait a minute. And then if you pick up and you start on the wrong side, then you can tell when you're finished, you'll see there's like this weird spot in your design. And a lot of times it's because you missed a step, either where you got up and walked away, or you got distracted, or you just picked up on the wrong side. So making sure that you have a full bump always lets you know that that previous knot was completely finished, both the right side and the left side. Yes. So I do have an Instagram, and my team just posted it here in the comment section. So Nicole's got you covered. I think that was Nicole. It's hard to tell. Yes, and we have a space on Discord for you to ask opinions, and you can ask on the Facebook group too if you want to. I really encourage everybody to use Discord instead of Facebook, just because we've had so many problems with Facebook. But Discord 100%, and Facebook if you want. All right, so finishing off this side here. Or just, Wanda, you crack me up. Or just be overconfident. Just start wherever you want and then go back and fix it. All right, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I did more than I said I was going to, but that's fine. 12. 12 on there. And we're going to leave it right at 12. Let's look at the pink one. I'm just curious. So let's count how many knots I did on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You know what? We can do 2 more. We can do 2 more. So it's the same. Yes, Sharon, great question. Sharon says, I know that the bicones make a really sharp looking pattern, but could you use rounds? You 100% can use any kind of bead that you want to. It does not have to be bicones at all. You can use whatever you want and whatever size you want. You can do this in bigger. So I did 4mm bicones and 11 seed beads. But if you wanted to do 6mm bicones and maybe size 8 seed beads, or maybe not 8. Yeah, 8s. You can even do 10s if you just wanted a little bit bigger of a seed bead. Totally up to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, we've got 14. Now I'm going to trim and I'm going to melt. And then we're going to swap over to the other side real quick. The great thing about the Asian knotting cord is that it is meltable, just like a lot of the other like Eslon cords that we use. So melt, tap your ends. Melt, tap your end. Okay. All right, we're going to take this off. We can get rid of the squishy side. No, we have a Patreon for our regular members too. We have Patreon for our regular community. We have Discord for that is specifically for Patreon, and a Discord that is specifically for Hardwired. But we also have Patreon, do we not? I'm pretty sure we have Patreon for our regular community members too. That's separate. If we don't, I can hook us up. But I thought for sure we already had that. I could be wrong. Listen, you guys, I have so many things going on. I don't even know what day it is most of the time. I told Q yesterday, I'm lucky if I wake up and remember what my name is. All right, so taking our other piece of cord on the other side. All right. Bringing our ends together. Anita, me too. Anita said I set a project on fire last week using the lighter and had to do. I hope you thought of me because I did the exact same thing on a Michael's class. That was, y'all never let me live that down. All right, so now I'm going to attach this back to my tying station, but this time I'm not going to attach it at my crystals because I have the square knot section here, so I can put my acrylic plate back. I don't have to use the squishy. I bet Anita was mad. I would have been too. I've been there, done that. All right, taking my cord, and I can slide my tying station down a little and secure my ends. All right, and then I'm going to take another cord, nice long piece. It's so frustrating too because there's nothing you can do but start over. It's so frustrating. All right, so now let's see if we can speed run. Let's see if we can speed run 14 square knots real quick, okay? Just so that we can actually say that we finished this, because we've still got another set of square knots to do afterwards to make our adjustable clasp here. All right, I'm going to slide that up. And then all right, there's one. You can go see, it's over on the Michael's YouTube channel. I don't remember exactly what the project was, but I know that it still lives on in infamy over there on the Michael's YouTube channel. All right, so just trying to go as quickly as I can. I unfortunately did not put this cord at the center, so one of my sides is longer than the other, and I'm hoping that I've got enough to get through all the knots that I need without having to start over again. We shall see. And yeah, I'm going super, super quick here. So if you need to see the square knots in slow motion, this is not the section to go back and rewatch. Be sure you go back and rewatch the other side of this. Yeah, I didn't use any sentence enhancers or anything, but I gotta say, I've had a lot of bad things go wrong with projects in live classes, in live videos, even on live TV. So I've trained myself to not panic. Doesn't mean I'm not panicking on the inside, but at least to not show that I'm panicking. And to try to stay calm. The time that the tripod broke, that was probably the most panicked I had ever been, just because there was literally nothing I could do in that moment to fix the tripod, and I still had a class to teach, and I had to just work with what I had. But after I made it through that experience, which is also a Michael's class that you can see over on the Michael's YouTube from, I don't even know how long ago, probably 4 years back. But after that experience, it was like, you know what? I've got this. If something goes wrong, I can handle it with grace. And, you know, and always just being honest about things really helps. And that's one of the things that people tend to really like about me, is that I'm always real. You know, I'm not going to pretend like I'm superwoman and super bougie and that I'm an expert and that nothing ever goes wrong. And oh my, no. Listen, I've cut projects off the loom and the whole thing's fallen apart. I've set things on fire. I have cut myself. You guys have seen that happen more than once. I had a very horrific experience with, what are those things called? The scrimps. I was teaching a scrimps class one time and cut myself really badly. But yeah, it's an adventure. That's what I like to say. You never know what's going to happen. Hopefully things go right, but when they go wrong, it is definitely entertaining. What did I do there? I didn't even do a full knot there. Let's count, because I've been talking and I don't even know how far we've gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Look at that. We've got one more to go. Yeah, the scrimps thing was definitely a hardwired project, and there was some blood involved, and it was a little traumatic. It was dramatic and traumatic. All right, we're going to trim, and then we're going to melt, and then you know what? We're going to put this together, and we're going to have a beautiful little adjustable bracelet, and I'm going to have two, because I'll have a pink one and a purple one. Oh, don't catch on fire. Just melt. That's all. All right. And then we're going to take this off of the tying station. And throughout all of the mishaps, Sarah has never used a sentence enhancer during live. Amazing. Doesn't mean they weren't going on in my head. All right, so now we're going to do the adjustable part of this to make this an adjustable bracelet. And you guys have seen me do this a bunch. So we're going to take the cords on both sides, and we're going to take those in opposite directions of each other. So 2 are running this way, 2 are running this way. And we're going to take another piece of our knotting cord, and we're going to do about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 knots for the adjustable part of this. Do less, do more, depending on how much adjustability you need. If you need a bit more for a longer bracelet, then 10 is plenty. All right, so we're taking our cord underneath all of those, and then we are following our same steps for square knots. So right cord crosses over, left cord crosses over that one, and then goes behind and up through the P shape and pull. Okay. All right, and then our backwards P shape. Right cord crosses over. Yes, so I would love to explain to you the difference between our Hardwired and Patreon while I make these knots. So Hardwired is my paid learning community where we focus on upping our skills. So here on my regular lives on Tuesdays and Fridays, we usually tend to stick with the basics, basic wire skills, as in simple loops, wrapped loops, maybe a little bit of wire weaving, but very, very easy and very rarely. Simple knotting like this, and simple stringing, crimping, things like that. So we stick to our basics to build beautiful pieces of jewelry. But Hardwired is where we take all of those basic skills and we go to the next level. The projects there are upper level beginner to intermediate style projects. And we focus on wire weaving. We focus on upper level stringing projects, harder knotting projects. However, I teach those projects in a way that I make it accessible for anybody who has the basics down. It is a place where if you're ready to grow, that's the place to be. So if you want to learn your basics of wire weaving, and kind of use your skills to build from that, that's the place to be. The projects are not hard. Sometimes they look hard, but they're really not hard at all. It's a fun place. It's a smaller community. We get together twice a week on Tuesday afternoons and Thursday afternoons. We do our weekly projects on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays we have Casual Thursday, where we get together and just do something fun, or we chit chat or whatever. And it's a whole lot of fun. We giggle and laugh a lot, but we also work really hard. So Patreon is different. Patreon is not about upping your skills. It's about using your basic skills that we all use here on Tuesdays and Fridays. But instead of me pushing you to buy something, I encourage you to use the beads, findings, and components that you already have to create pieces of jewelry for yourself that you love. I mean, you can sell them if you want to, it's whatever. But basically, I encourage you to use the beads that you've already got because you bought them for a reason and they're just sitting there. So why not use them in a project? And that's what I do. It helps me go through my stash of things, and it encourages you to do the same without encouraging you to spend money. And there you get an additional 3 projects a month. So for $10 a month, you will get, in addition to what I already do, 3 projects that you won't see on Facebook and you won't see on YouTube. They are exclusive to Patreon members only. And it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do one more. We'll call it 7. One that says, don't be scared. Hardwired, there are no tests or final exams. There's not. And a lot of times people will come and hang out in Hardwired and they don't make the projects, or they do, but they make them at their own pace. You don't have to work along. You can watch the videos as many times as you want to. And it's a safe space to just kind of hang out and, and grow, whether you grow by observation or by working along. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. And you can join 2 different ways. You can pay quarterly every 3 months, or you can pay monthly. If you pay quarterly, of course, there's a big discount for doing it that way. And you can come and go as you please. Like if you need to go, you don't want to pay for it for a month, for whatever reason, because, bills are tight or whatever, you can opt out, and then you can opt back in anytime you want to, and we don't hold it against you. We're just happy to have you however long we have you. And you're guaranteed to learn something. All right. So now we're going to take and we're going to pull, because we need to even these cords up. So I pull all the slack out of both sides and pull it up, and then decide where I'm going to tie my knots. I'm going to tie a knot out about 2 inches from the edge of the bracelet. Oops, hold on. Tie that out here, pull, and then I'm going to trim. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I'm going to try to make those knots at about the same distance as the others. And then trim. And that's it. As me and Wanda like to say, ta-da! You have a beautiful little crystal bracelet. It's adjustable. It's casual enough to wear every single day. You can stack it with your other bracelets that you want. It's just really fun and pretty. It's a little macrame. It's a little sparkle. And you can do it with bicones. You could do it with round beads. You could do it with anything you wanted to. You could do it with cubes. You could do it with literally anything. I'm going to open this one up and put it on. Never very good at this part. Hold on. Let's see here. There we go. There's the pink. And then I'll put on the purple. You know what? That's totally fine, Wanda. And I was going to mention that, and I'm glad that you brought it up. So Wanda's little confession is she never does the adjustable clasp on a bracelet. And you actually don't have to if you don't want to. You can make the exact same bracelet right here. And if you don't want to do the adjustable part of this, you can actually take some ribbon ends and put the ribbon ends over the end of your macrame section. And then it has a little loop on it that you can add your hardware to, a cord end, anything that you could potentially glue on. You could glue on a cord end. You do a little crimp cord end. You have options. You don't have to do the adjustable, because just like Wanda said, some people don't like the hangy downy part. It drives them crazy. So if you don't like the hangy downy part, find a different way to finish this off. And I definitely recommend like a ribbon end or a cord end that you could just fold over, and then you have the loops for your hardware. So you definitely could use a clamshell. You probably want to use a big clamshell though. I think the little ones, the really small ones are probably too small, but you could most definitely use, I have some like extra large clamshells that you definitely could use. So you have options. You don't have to do the adjustable. I just think that the adjustable is nice if you're doing it for somebody that maybe you don't know what size, or just for customers in general. But if you know the true size, skip the adjustable part and leave the little hangy downies off. They might make you crazy. So I get it. I totally get it. All right. All right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I can't believe we did the whole project and I didn't have to do step outs. We finished the whole thing during this show. That's pretty impressive. All right. If you can use a wire guardian with this style bracelet, I don't think so. Unless you had a wire guardian that was big enough to accommodate a 1mm cord. And I know that they make them. But it's not a super common thing. You would have to take this cord through a really large wire guardian. So, all right, I'm going to turn you guys around and we will take a look at these from another point of view. I think that they're so pretty. Aren't they cute? Don't mind my arm where I had it up against. I need to go drink some water. I'm clearly dehydrated. Wow. But yeah, super cute. You can see all my freckles too. But I think they are a lot of fun. It's just the right amount of sparkle without being, without being too over the top. Not that I care about being over the top. I mean, obviously. But some people do. And I think these are cute little bracelets. They're lightweight. They make good little gifts. And again, if you don't want to do the adjustable part, you don't have to. And it's even more of a clean look. But I think they're cool. You could put it next to your watch and it doesn't feel like a heavy, heavy piece of jewelry, but you've got a little sparkle to make your day. So exactly. One for me and one for Ari. I think I'm going to keep the purple one and give her the pink one. But I don't know. I'll have to ask her. She'll probably want the one that I want just because. So. All right, I am out of here. Hardwired, we will be meeting at 4 p.m. Eastern this afternoon, and we are doing a throwback project. We are doing the Princess Carriage, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have missed that project, so we're going to redo that one. And if you would like to set your reminders for Friday, I'll be right back here on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern for my Feel Good Friday show. So that's it. I love you guys so, so much. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Some of you I will see later. The rest of you I will see you later this week. All right. I love you. Mwah. Bye.